Good evening, boys and girls. Today we're going to be talking about internal and external rotation, also known as medial or lateral rotation. So when you're thinking about this movement, I want you to think about the direction the knee is going. So we have her foot here. And when I turn her hip to go this way, so her knee is coming out towards me, that's going to be the lateral or external rotation, because that's the direction her knee is facing. So that's that movement. And then if I were to move it the other way, now her knee is going towards this knee, that is an internal or medial rotation. If you can remember that this is the medial line in the body towards the middle, you can remember that. Now the thing that always messes people up as they learn this, so I said you got to look at the knee, because if you look at the foot, this is medial rotation. This is external rotation. Because you look at the knee's coming towards me. So this is an external rotation. This is an internal rotation. And I say that because you have to think about the movement that gets involved and what that looks like, so you know what to expect. So now that we know that, I want to point out some body parts here, some muscles. So with medial rotation, we're looking at these guys up here. Medial rotation. So here's the top of the pelvis, right through here. So you can feel it up on your body, right here. And often I'll have someone come to me and they'll say, my low back is bothering me. And I go, okay, and they point to it, and they'll point here. Not the low back. Here's the pelvis, here's the low back. Here's the quadratus lumborum right here. And this is the low back. There's also lats going on here. This is your hip. So a lot of people will think that their low back is bothering them, and it tends to be the hip area. The hips play a very important part. So here we have gluteus medius and minimus. Minimus is underneath. And then right below that is gluteus maximus. Now, gluteus maximus does play a part in the rotation, but its biggest movement is going to be the hip extension. So, doing this. We use it often biking, walking, running, or going upstairs. It's the largest muscle in the body, and it needs some attention. There's a lot of issues that can happen. As a matter of fact, there are some neighborhoods, and I'm glad I don't work in one, I probably would move, that the glute massage is not allowed. There's only a few. It's a very strange law. Or sometimes you'll go to a massage place where they don't allow their massage therapists to do glute massage, even though it is allowed in that area. So glute massage is really important for athletes, but it's also really important for anyone who's having some low back pain or some pelvic imbalances. So those are the two kind of three main ones back here, the big ones. And then you also have in the lateral rotation or the external rotation, you have the deep six muscles, and those are underneath the gluteus maximus. So if this is the largest muscle of the body, I have to then get through this to get to the deep muscle. So sometimes people say to me, I want deep tissue massage. Superficial muscles have to be loosened before we can go deep. Otherwise, they're just going to push us out. So we have the lateral rotation six muscles, including the piriformis. So I'm just going to find her piriformis. Here's the head of the femur, and it's right here to here. It's not that big of a muscle. However, the sciatic nerve comes out and kind of goes right in between the piriformis and a couple of the other lateral rotators, which they get tight, compress on the sciatic nerve. So if you have sciatica pain, then this is a huge one that again needs to be massaged. The other ones that are honorable mentions is for medial rotation for internal rotation, you have the tensor fascia lata, the TFL. Now to find that one, actually find the top of the pelvis, and you're going to follow where the IT band. So this is where the IT band goes, this whole length, can't see it. And the rotator, from here all the way down, and just a little bit lower than that is the tensor fascia lata. It actually connects into the IT band. So when the IT band gets tight, it's going to affect this. The gluteus maximus also attaches into the iliotibial tract, so those muscles can also get affected when the IT band is tight, or they could be causing the IT band to feel tight. The adductors, so the ones on the inner thigh muscle, can also be affect and do internal rotation. Yes, medial internal rotation. It's hard to say all of these, especially because I'm not just talking about one, I'm talking about two opposite actions. So those are all the muscles that we have to kind of be thinking about. So I'm going to massage this side so that she has a little bit of modesty as we're not right in front of the camera. So I require my clients to keep their underwear on during a session. One of this reason is sanitation reason. I cannot disinfect my sheets, and I don't want, it's very natural for there to be fluid involved, just natural fluid. And so I require my clients keep their underwear on. But it is nice when, especially guys, don't come in with like boxers on, because those tend to get in the way when we're thinking about glute massage. So I think I'll put my magic blend on, the essential oil blend that I created. So when working on these muscles, and I will have to work on the other ones off camera, I want to make sure that I am assessing with palpation, and palpation is how I'm feeling the tissue, because I can guess based off what you're telling me, I'm feeling pain here, and then I can also look at your posture and take some guesses, but I really won't know which ones are tight until I get my hands on you. And then I can use my palpation skills to feel like, oh, that's tight. So one of your adductors is tight right through here. The hamstring is feeling pretty normal there. I actually don't like the word normal, but it's not feeling tight. But that adductor that's right next to it, it's just the one. It's feeling tight. Now from this position, especially if I want to crouch down, so I'm massaging the IT band right now, going up, and then just working a little bit down towards the table, and here's that tensor fascia lata, the TFL. And that guy's actually feeling okay on you. Now, if your internal rotators get tight, then that can affect your walking gait, which my internal rotators get tight, and so I have a very short stride, and I didn't realize that for a really long time. Like, why do I have such a short stride? I mean, I know I'm a little bit short, but people who are the same height as me have a longer stride, and I have to walk twice as fast to keep up with them. So your internal rotators will affect that final part of your gait, that final lengthening of the leg, as you have to slightly internal rotate to make that happen. And again, if someone is getting pain, with sciatic pain especially, then it is these internal guys.
Oh.
Yes, sorry, take deep breaths for me. I'm just going to do a little deep friction onto the gluteus medius because I normally do that actually when I do the back. So, here's my signature move. The best way to really get in there, to make the most impact, and first I just had to warm her up, I can't like go straight into a deep tissue technique, is when you're doing something called a combined loading, which means you're moving the joint as you're doing something to the muscle. Now technically, I could, well first of all I'll show you what I do. So I do a compression, so I'm going to compress. I'm going to compress in two places. First I'm going to compress right on top of the glute max and the piriformis, and then I'm going to compress into the glute medius and minimus. So first I'm going to go into the max and piriformis, and I'm going to do an external rotation and an internal rotation. And that's really allowing me to get in nice and deep. And again, I'm going to move my hand to glute medius and minimus, internal and external, internal and external. And so that's like a pin and stretch. So I'm about to do something, and I'm going to have you do that movement without me, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so hold up. Now I could be doing something like this, which is more compressive in a petrissage way. Can you go a little bit farther? So here to here. And I can have a client, now keep going back and forth, do the movement for me. And that's also a combined loading technique, which again is very deep tissue. But that's pretty intense. Which one did you like better?
The deep tissue.
Both of them were deep tissue.
The second one.
The second one, so she liked it when she did the work. Some kinds are like, no, I just want to lay here. You can move my foot around. So you felt like it got even deeper when you were contracting. So by doing an assisted version, she actually has to contract the muscle as I'm doing the petrissage, which again can feel even deeper. So that's my signature move there. So now that I've addressed all of that, I'm going to show you a little thing that you can do on your own to help stretch that. So first I'm going to pause the video and turn her over. Okay, we're back, and I've got some balls. Like my balls? This one's got a smiley face on it. See, look, she already fell asleep. So, these are great to help with self-care with this. So I'm going to show you a stretch that you can do to help. Now, initially, it's also beneficial if you just place this under the muscle. Whether or not it's the high hip area or in the mid-glute. You can just lay directly on that, and it's like compression. So that's also good. But I'm going to show you how to get a little bit deeper. Now, this one scared me at first. It's from Rock Tape, and I don't even know if they still make it. But I have seen many versions of this. See, look, it's got spikes. Great for the glute. There's no way I would use this anywhere else. And then this one is a 4-inch ball that's more squishy. So use what does best for you. I will say that for the glute, especially because I do this while I'm laying in bed, this might be too squishy. So we're going to do the spiky one. The spiky one's also more expensive. I think that was only $1 or $2. This guy might have been 20. Okay, so first we're going to do the mid glute. That's where you seem tightest. So go ahead and roll a little bit to the other side so I can place it. And you're going to tell me that feels like it's the center of your glute as you come down.
Mm-mm.
Nowhere. So where does the knee go? Left, right, up, down.
Down.
Oh, you're right. That's, how's that?
Mm-hmm.
So it was totally, I wasn't even paying attention. It was totally on the glute medius before, so we totally could have left it. So we just have one ball. Yes, it's spiky. So believe it or not, it does disappear after a while. So you could also combine this with lay on it for a little bit, get used to it before we start making some movement happen. So remember we talked about doing internal and external rotation. So you can do this with your knee bent or straight. And we'll do both and see which one you like better. So first you're going to come into external rotation. So point your toes towards me. Nope, that's towards the ground. This way. So not just this one. So go ahead and do this movement right here. You're just going to go center towards me. Yeah, and you're just going to keep doing that. Is that fun?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now you're going to go from center inward. Okay, so we did a couple of those. Now we're going to bend the knee. And you're going to go center towards me. Deeper, right?
Ooh, yeah.
It really gets in there now.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can also just come into a position, and if it's sore, and stay here. Now this is like a butterfly position. This would also be stretching the adductors muscles, so the muscles of the inner thigh, which again can play a huge part in medial rotation. And then go in, you can stay in a cross for a little bit. Now you may only need it on the piriformis, or you may need it on both, that and the glute medius, one or the other. So we're going to lower this leg. Going to remove the spiky ball. Now I'm on the glute medius, and we're going to do the same thing. So again, come towards me, warm it up. And go center, towards me. Windshield wiper your toes back and forth. There we go. And then we're going to come up and bend your knee, and come towards me, and go inwards. How's this one? You're not as tight on this one, so I can't imagine this one would do anything for you. Okay, so I'm going to remove that. So that would be the exercises I would suggest if you're having tightness in these areas. And you would do it, also again, that yoga video by Rodney Yee, where he talks about the internal external rotation. Yoga is great for internal external rotation, but if you're going to do it with the ball, that's what I suggest. And of course, to come and get a massage, because no one's going to get in there like I can. Okay, so thanks for watching, and I hope we see you in the next video, and on my table.